I am just arriving at the Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Amarillo on North Loop 335 and just right off Old Soncy Road. So if you travel north of Interstate 40 and look to the west after you come down a big slope, you'll see Wildcat Bluff Nature Center, and then just north of that is the rehab facilities, which is brand new. This is opening day, and looks like there is a huge crowd out here. These are all game warden vehicles, probably some wildlife biologists as well. It appears there's some announcements going on. Let's see if I can move up a little bit closer. And there are some photographers out here from Wild Planet, I believe it is. They will be featured on their channel. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or not, but I believe you can catch that if you've got cable TV, something of that nature. There's an Animal Planet. I think it's Animal Planet.
Lone Star.
Huge number of people out here. All right, let's take a little walk around.
This came up in the figure.
What we do, all right, we have a bird. Depends on what
Yes.
the bird is.
No, Wild West. Okay, bye.
Go get something to eat.
A lot of people are lined up to go into this little building here, and I have with me Christy Rowley. Christy Rowley is a volunteer, and you do participate in some animal rehab as well.
Yes, that's right.
What are the people going to see in this building? I see it has a sign on there called the Stink Shack.
This is the Stink Shack. Now, when we have skunks in care, this is the building we'll keep them in for obvious reasons. It's better to keep them out of our main center, and that's why it's called the Stink Shack. We don't have any skunks in care yet. It's not quite baby skunk season, but we also quarantine skunks that need it for 10 days if they've been trapped somewhere. Keep them 10 days, make sure they're healthy, and then release them back into the wild. Today we're using it for our educational animals. We've got our educational animals, as well as South Plains came up today with some of their birds. We've got a couple of opossums. We've got our educational skunk. We've got a prairie dog. There's a couple of owls and a red-tailed hawk that are all educational animals. People can come out and meet them. Some of them they can put hands on and pet them, and kind of takes the stigma away of things being bad that actually are beneficial, and kind of gives people a different view of them and changes minds.
Great.
Yeah,
that's great. I took a little peek in the window a while ago, and I saw one of your folks with a possum up on her shoulder and stroking it.
Yes.
Now, some people, well, when I was managing Wildcat Bluff Nature Center, for 3 years, between 2010 and 2013, people would call me up and they're scared to death of these possums. They've got wicked-looking teeth.
Yes.
They can hiss pretty loud.
Yes, that's their two defenses. They look mean. They're actually a very docile animal. They open their mouth, drool, and hiss, and they really do. They play dead, although they're not doing it on purpose. It's actually a feint. They can last for 4 hours. They're actually pretty harmless, and they're very beneficial to our area. They don't get rabies. They eat ticks. They eat snakes. They eat rodents. So they're actually very good to have around. So if you've got one in your yard, you're pretty blessed, actually. If you can keep your animals away from it, it'll just go on its way and do good things.
Exactly. Now, why do you think that people are seeing possums and living in their backyard?
Well, for one thing, they're a scavenger, so they're going to go where there's easy places to get food, but also we've built where they lived. I mean, we've encroached on their territory. It's not vice versa. The reason that we see them in town is because we built our town where they were at to start with. And so we can coexist very easily, especially with the opossums, because of the fact that the rabies isn't a scare. So it's really easy to coexist with opossums. I mean, if you see one, if you leave it alone, it's going to leave you alone. It might eat your cat food you leave out for the neighborhood cats. That's about the worst thing that it's going to do. Your animals aren't in any danger from it. It's in much more danger from your animals than they are from it. So
yeah, so just be aware that if you're putting food out,
they're going to attract not just opossums. There are foxes in town. There are lots of gray foxes around town. If you leave out animal food, they're going to come by and take advantage of it, just like the stray cats in the neighborhood are. So
exactly. And so, I've never heard any reports of people being bit by any of these animals. So people living in town that come across these wild animals, they really don't have anything to fear.
No, most of them. I mean, if you had a sick one, it's going to be very obviously sick. If you see one that's running from you, even in daytime, that's also a myth. People think if you see a skunk or a fox or something out in the daytime, a raccoon, it's rabid. That's not true, especially during baby season. During baby season, they get out during the day and get food because they've got to they've got to feed their babies. So you will see them out during breeding and during baby season, and that's very common. The only time you're not going to see them in the daytime is wintertime when they're pretty much hibernating. Not a true hibernation, but they're staying in their dens a lot more. They're not going to be out, but you're going to know a sick animal. It's going to be very obvious that it's sick. It's going to be staggering, turning circles. If they run and hide from you or look like they're going down the road on a mission, they're a healthy animal that's just going about its business. So.
Right. What about the danger to people's pets, such as cats, dogs? Especially small dogs.
Honestly, a fox isn't any match for even a cat. People think that a fox is getting their cats if they have a cat that comes up hurt or missing. Foxes aren't really a danger. The only thing that would be a coyote, and that would have to come into town, which happens once in a while. But honestly, if there are coyotes in that part of the area, they're probably getting cat food and rodents and various other things. The last thing they're going to go after, usually if it's one single animal, is your own pet. So the only time that a coyote is going to be a danger is if you live out where they live in packs, and they will, then you may have some danger to your animals if they go out after dark. But if it's a lone one, that's not any match for your animal, and they're going to avoid your animals. They're going to run from your animals. People think that foxes can hurt their cats. They really can't.
All right. Well, thanks for the great advice on learning how to live with wild animals in an urban environment.
That's good to know.
Okay, so I'm going to pan around here a little bit, and we'll kind of stand here together. Kind of pointing towards this tent right next to the building. What's going on over there?
Okay, they've got all of our merchandise. We've got T-shirts, bags, coffee mugs, thermal mugs. We've got all different things with the Wild West logo on there. People that want to support us and wear one of our cool shirts, we sell those all the time. Even on if we don't have an event, we've got them on Facebook where they can purchase them. They can just shoot us a message and we'll get it to them.
Okay, and I'm sure you guys have plenty of these items.
Yes.
So one way to support the organization itself is to buy some of this merch, which also gives them some advertising.
Exactly, yes. And that's always a good thing to get our name out there. People that haven't heard of us yet, then they may see it and ask somebody a question and they'll be able to tell them. So it's a great way to support us.
All right. And then I have seen this building in the background before, and it was up at Mariposa. It wasn't in nearly this good a shape.
Yeah, this is 3 years worth of love and work on this thing. It came out here as a shell pretty much. They took it down to the studs, and over the last 3 years have rebuilt it up to what it is today. Walls, moved walls, everything in there, and turned it into our wildlife center.
Wonderful.
So this has been a 3-year labor of love.
Now, before this facility came about, there was people doing wildlife rehab in Amarillo.
There was not.
But it was primarily out of people's homes, several different people's homes.
Yes, we didn't have any wildlife rehab at all here until Stephanie moved here. When Stephanie moved here and brought Wild West with her from down in South Texas, then we actually had wildlife. Before that, you had to go to Lubbock. But yes, all of us have been rehabbers out of our homes for the last several years. And we just had to do what we could we did it all out of our homes, several of us rehabbers. But now that we have this facility, all of the bigger animals and things that can eat on their own and stuff will be out here now, which helps us be able to take in more, have more time and space for the babies that We have to keep some things at home because they get fed every 3 hours around the clock when they're tiny babies. But once they're big enough to eat on their own, they'll be coming out here. And it really helps with our adult injured and animals and sick animals that we need to rehab and release. We want to keep them wild, and this gives us a chance to do that. And as soon as they're well, then we can put them back where they belong, out in the wild. That's our main goal, is to rehab and release anything that we get in. We don't want to keep any of it. It's all cute and everybody thinks it would make a great pet, but they are supposed to be in the wild, and that's our main goal.
Yeah, get them rehabilitated and out where they belong. Get them back
where they belong. Even the tiny babies that are so cute that we get attached to, we turn them back out into the wild when they're old enough. We have about a 99% release rate, so that's what we want.
Yeah. Well, the building itself was donated, and the land has been donated.
Yes.
But then, like you say, you had to completely rebuild that building over there. That was a lot of expense.
Yes.
And now you're looking at having to pay utility bills.
Yes.
Because it does take electricity to keep things cooled down in the summertime, heated into the wintertime. So there's going to be an ongoing issue.
Yes, and all the animals that we feed, we go through, when we have bird season, we go through hundreds of mice and other things that we feed our raptors. So yeah, we always are going to have expenses. Right now we've done all of this 100% from donations from people. We've had no grants, we've had no anything like that. This has all been 100% donation, and we are proudly debt-free. We've done it slowly as we've gone along, and so, but there will always be overhead with any of this stuff, because to take care of and feed these animals takes a lot. Yeah, and it's 100% volunteer. Nobody gets a paycheck. We all do it because of the love of the animals.
And that's one reason why it has taken 3 years to get to this point.
This has been a weekend thing every weekend for a lot of people for 3 years. So every extra minute.
And well, we've got another set of tents right over here. Looks like people are eating. So I presume there's some food available out here.
Yes, Outback Steakhouse has been fabulous. They donated 100% of the food. They have burgers, hot dogs, and veggie burgers. We've got drinks that were donated by a couple of different places. So, and then we've got cupcakes and cookies that have wildlife on them. And but Outback 100% donated all of their food items to feed us. So they've been amazing. They're an amazing supporter of ours.
Wonderful. And I'm amazed at the response.
Yes.
That all these people showing up today, and there was actually quite a few people leaving as I arrived. I got here a little bit after noon, and this all started at 11. So
yeah, we couldn't do any of this without our community. We could have this fabulous center and have all the people ready to raise animals, but without the community calling us when they find an animal in need, then there wouldn't be any reason for us to be here. We work with the game wardens, but we get lots of citizens calling us to help with the injured or abandoned animals. So without our community support, all these people out here that support us in what we're doing, we wouldn't be here. So it's wonderful to have the community support. We have an amazing community.
Well, obviously, the people who are watching this on my YouTube channel are not going to be able to go inside the facility today. They're not going to be able to see this today. Can you give us an idea? I know that there are people taking a tour through there.
Yes.
So what are they actually looking at?
Well, they'll get to see the intake room, which is where we bring in all the sick and injured adult animals and triage them and see what they need. And then we have a mammal room, we have a bird room, we have a raptor room, we have separate rooms, we have a raccoon room, we have separate rooms because we need to keep all that wildlife separate. It can't all just go in together. They have different temperatures they need to be at, they have different dietary needs, so we have rooms for each of those. So they'll get to walk down the hall and look into those rooms. They won't be able to go into those rooms because we have animals already, and we don't want to stress the animals. Our main goal is the animals' health and safety. So, but we have windows in the doors where they can look in and just see the room and kind of what we do, and see some of the animals from a distance. But there's no hands-on except with our educational animals because they're used to people, and they're again to teach people how great these things are. We bring them out for events so that people can meet and get hands-on with some animals. Everything that's in the center is a wild animal that will be back out in the wild, and so we want as few people handling them as possible because we want them to have that respect and fear of people that will keep them wild and healthy. So.
Okay. Well, I know that the organization has a Facebook page.
Yes,
That's
we sure
where
do.
a lot of people have found out about it, as well as our local news media.
Yes.
What other resources
We've got
available to people in order to be able to contact?
Yes, we have a website, and we've also got our phone number, 680-BITE, that is answered anytime, and they may have to leave a message. Especially, we're all volunteer, and during baby season, we may go out on 30 calls a day between a few of us. So if they have to leave a message, somebody will get back to you. We never ignore people, but they can go to the Facebook page, they can go to our website, or they can call our phone number and get in touch with somebody. Like I said, they may have to leave a message, but we'll always get back to people. We don't ignore any animal in need. So
excellent. Well, I'll put all that contact information in the description below this video as well.
Perfect.
And so people will have access and even have a link directly to the Facebook page and the website.
That'll be perfect.
Well, thank you very much for
you.
explaining what's going on out here today. I'll see if I can get a few people to talk to me and give me their reactions and their experience on this great day, the opening day of the Wildcat Club, Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it's good.